And we've talked a lot about what you can do when you're kind, like the actions that you can take. So you can go help somebody across the street. You can carry groceries up for somebody. You can give somebody a meal. You can help at a soup kitchen or someplace where people are that need something. You can volunteer your services anywhere. So what are some other things that last time we talked about? There was a book that we read, and it was about a little girl who saw a boy that was being picked on, and he had glasses and they were calling him Four Eyes or whatever. And she felt bad for him, and she said something to him, and then he ran away. So she had to go think about what she would do to help him. So this was the thought process that she had to go through. How can I help this boy who's feeling hurt right now? And so it was more about the action of how do I be kind rather than doing something? Because before we do something, we have to think about it first, don't we? We don't just automatically be kind. We have to think in our heads, oh, I need to be kind. How do I do that? And then we think about how we are kind. What can I do to help this person? Because you might think something is kind, but maybe they don't need the help, or maybe they're hurting so much they can't accept it. Like we use the example of when somebody dies. Somebody in your family dies, and you go up to the person and say, oh, it's going to be okay. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. That is not what somebody needs to hear at that moment. You might think you're being nice or kind, but you're really not, because you're not giving them a chance to work through their own grief. And you're telling them it's going to be okay when it's not. Okay, eventually they have to get over it. They have to go through the grief process, and everybody does, because everybody's going to go through this at some point in their lives. But you can't tell somebody else it's going to be okay if they don't feel like that. You know, so when you're going through something, your feelings are your own, and you need to have those feelings. You have to work through those feelings. So the most the least that you can do is say, I'm sorry. Do you want a hug? Or I'm sorry to hear that. If I can help you in any way, let me know. Because then they can tell you what they need. What do you guys think about that?
Something so necessary nowadays, because every day the situation is being worse with the world. The people are losing the habits and values and manners. And I really like that we can talk about this point in kindness here, because we can change this situation right now with kindness. We can be the representation, or we can be like yes, we can practice and show others that we can do that change, trying to do little
Acts of
actions,
kindness.
of kindness actions, yes, to see the different, helping someone to cross the street, like you mentioned before, maybe just telling some words in the correct moment, or precise moment, that
Yeah.
someone needs to listen something comfortable to feel better. So I think we need to put it in practice in every moment of our lives, and I think that is my opinion about that.
I like
Thank
that. Thank you very much for participating and understanding what I'm trying to tell you guys, because it isn't something that you just create on the spot. You know, you're not a mean person and all of a sudden you're a nice person. That doesn't work. So you have to create this in your head. You have to decide that this is my reaction, because because you don't create your reactions, right? They come from your subconscious mind. So if you say, I need to be nice, I need to be nice, that's not really going to work. You know, and so your thoughts are what turn into your actions. So if your thoughts are always, I want to get back at the person that's hurting me, that's what's going to come out. So if you have the thought in your head, you have human emotions. So you have moments in your head where you're like, stub your toe, or somebody hurts you with their words, or whatever happens. You have those human moments, but your choice is how to react from those moments. And so if you say to yourself, oh, I stubbed my toe, and your first reaction is to say a swear word, you know, okay, you're human, people will understand, but I never grew up that way. If I said a swear word in front of my parents, I would get in trouble. So my reactions are different than somebody who grew up with that. So if I stub my toe, you know, I hurt my finger, I do something, my first reaction is not a swear word. My first reaction is ow or darn or, you know, some other okay word, right? And it took me a long time as an adult to learn how to be okay with hearing swear words around me or having, you know, swear words come out of my mouth just as a purposeful thing, not just as a in my head and it comes out of my mouth. I don't do that. I think consciously about these things because I grew up that way. I grew up a nice Christian girl and I'm not supposed to swear. So I hear it around me, but I don't necessarily do it. So that's what you have to educate yourself or surround yourself with the people that you want to be around. Because if you're around people that swear all the time, you're going to swear. And if you're around people who are mean all the time and reactionary and do things that you don't think are good, or maybe you think they're good and you're okay with those things, that's how you're going to be. But if you're around people that think of others and they have the opinions that everybody has, you know, a chance to speak or everybody is equal or they don't have prejudices, you're going to be like that. So which way do you want to be? Orlando.
Yes, I am listening to you. Very nice. I like it too much.
Okay, so what do you think of what I just said?
Really, it's totally true because the people around us influence us directly.
Yeah,
If you have with good people that have good habits, you can unconsciously you get that similar things, and
right.
for the contrary, the same. So that you are, and I
Yeah,
agree with you. Really true.
yes, yes.
Totally.
So think about it. I mean, obviously, you know, we don't choose our families. Our families are who we grew up with. So if you have a family that you've grown up with this family that does not have good, kind habits, then you have to get over that and move to the other side. But if you grew up with a family that consciously taught you to be kind, it's going to be much easier for you. But then when you move into your choice of relationships, whether it's friends or the person you marry or the work that you do, whatever you choose to go into, make sure that it's a place that you can continue to be kind. It's hard sometimes, isn't it? Harold, what do you think?
Okay, what I think is we're living in a world where the people is selfish, don't care about people anymore. So if you found someone like who love people so kind, you're supposed to respect that. You're supposed to give him this love back. And everyone, like I'm a kind person. I love everyone. I always be there for everyone. If I can help, I help.
That's
And
great.
I'm just like that. But in the world, when you're watching news, everywhere what you see is death. So that kind of buried, we weird. So we must do the different. Like we
Let's
can do
be
the, we can
different.
we okay we can be different with everyone. You can show that we think positively. We can love each other,
Yeah,
and
I think
that
so.
yeah, that love must come to your family. You must love your brother, your sister, your parents, and when you're gonna have your own family, you're gonna know how you can treat your family because you had that love since your family.
Right,
So
right.
I really
And
I will okay.
no, go ahead.
I really appreciate. I'm just like have so much love for the people who incapable. So, like, how can I say that? The people who I feel like who need something or want to learn something, I will appreciate the kind of people because
Yes,
because because when you help, you feel happy.
yes,
You know, you say, I'm I'm not used, I'm not helpless. You
right,
know, you feel
right.
happy, you feel good. I'm just like that. When I help people do something, for example, oh, can you do something for me? Yeah, no problem. And when I do it, I feel happy because I help people.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just
Let
like,
me ask you this, and I will ask Dewey and Asma too, if you guys want to say something. How how does it feel to help someone else when you yourself are hurting? So if I'm hurting, I have something in my life that is going on that I'm hurting from. And if I get out of my head and I start helping someone else, the pain of what I was going through goes away.
exactly. Yes,
Isn't that
exactly.
amazing?
It's amazing. So even though you hurt, but when you help, you feel release, you feel happy because for me, like I always say, our existence in life is to help, to
Yeah,
love people
yeah,
in life.
yeah,
So charity, eh, and kindness, generosity.
that's right.
Life is that. If someone leave you, you don't wanna help people. You love only yourself. So for me, you just survive. You're just not you're not living because life is
Right,
share. Life is,
right.
you know, for me
It
life.
needs to be. No man is an island or no woman. We can't live by ourselves all the time because if we're afraid of getting hurt, we're like a turtle, right? We're
Yeah,
like this, all closed up, and nobody can help us, and no, we don't want to trust anyone. That's an awful way to live. But if your arms are open and you're willing to help someone else, even if you get hurt, that's the way to live
exactly.
because people will give back. Asma, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I think being kind can be a contagious thing because whenever we are kind to someone, he will react the same and will in turn help us in time of need. And even if we are in time of sorrow or we are bleeding and need someone else to help us, if we find a situation where when we can help others and cooperate, we may forget about our problem and
Exactly.
try to focus on the other person's problem and try to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
This if we find a solution to his problem or her problem, this will reflect positively on us. And if
Yes.
the person could put a smile on the face of a child who is in need, this can make us feel over the moon and maybe overcome maybe something rewarding from God that we helped someone else, we
Yes.
find
Yes.
escape from our problems and find a solution to our problems, something we can't expect at all, but it's a kind of reward from God.
I agree
As
with you. Very
Yes.
well said. Yeah. So we have to wrap this up, guys. But I love this discussion. This is really good. We can continue this next week if you want to. If you can
Thank
think of
you.
some ways to continue this discussion next week, Friday at 11 o'clock, we can do that. If you guys come back and bring some other people, we can have a bigger discussion. So think of some ways this week that you can be kind to others.